All right, section 1, number 14, it asks which number is an extraneous solution of the equation x equals square root x plus 6. A little bit of a tricky problem because here we're not looking for an actual solution. We want to know which one's an extraneous solution. Okay, and remember what an extraneous solution is it's a solution to an equation that shows up while we're solving this equation, but that's not actually the solution to the original equation. Okay, so the only way we could find an extraneous solution would be to solve by hand and check our answers at the end. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have our x equals square root of x plus 6. Okay, now this is a radical equation with an x underneath a square root symbol. So first thing I should do is isolate the radical, get it by itself on one side of the equation, which it already is. The next thing I can do is just take the square of both sides to get rid of the square root. So when I square both sides of this equation, on the left side I'm left with just an x squared. And on the right side, the square root and square are going to cancel each other out, so we have just x plus 6 with the radical going away. Okay, again here we end up with a simple quadratic equation to solve. So remember how to do that. Get it set equal to 0, get everything on the same side of the equation. I'm going to subtract x and subtract 6 from both sides. Leave me with x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, at this point then I can either factor or use the quadratic formula. Looks like this one's factors, and we can factor it as an x minus 3 times an x plus 2. And by the zero product property, I know if that x minus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0, that means that x has got to be equal to positive 3 or negative 2. Okay, so these are both potential solutions to our original radical equation. As far as figuring out which one's extraneous, that's going to require plugging them back into our equation and checking. Okay, so we'll do kind of our check here. We'll start off with the x equals 3. If I substitute the 3 in for my x's, that's going to give me a 3 is equal to square root 3 plus 6. Okay, so in other words, 3 is equal to square root 9. So 3 is equal to 3. All right, so the 3 checks out. It is an actual solution to my equation. Okay, by process of elimination, then that means that negative 2's got to be a extraneous solution. And we can demonstrate here by looking at a check. Okay, so if I have negative 2 is equal to square root negative 2 plus 6, that means that negative 2 is equal to square root 4. Okay, negative 2 is not equal to positive 2. Okay, so that's why we have an extraneous solution here. So answer then is B, negative 2